This area is one of the perhaps few areas in the city that are still unbuilt. The user of this area are today the insects and the plants that grow in this space, the biodiversity of this area. Now, this area will also host in the future housing, a project, the new amount of 35 affordable units and social housing units that will give accommodation to about 50 people in the future. The project will be highly dense and very compact, and it will define solutions of sharing in order to reduce the built surface and to avoid the further erosion of green areas in Amsterdam, which are still decreasing every year. It's a pity that I could not live here myself, because it's going to be a very innovative and interesting project, both in terms of social composition, but also in terms of architecture. But the project is fully dedicated to low incomes and middle low incomes in the city. But as a scholar, I feel responsible also to contribute to this kind of projects. Scientists work in society, especially social scientists like me, and in so doing they grasp and they capture what type of knowledge is already being used in places like this one. What we do, we co-produce knowledge together with the participants. This basically means that academics are more like translators of knowledge. Knowledge is there, it gets produced in the process, and we try to make sense of it and also give feedback and advise the participant as a role. Co-production of knowledge between universities and other institutions is not something that is improvised. Quite the contrary. It should be carefully crafted. It's a process of making sense of it, translated it into a more usable forms of ideas that can be also translated into other places, into other geographies, other experiments and projects. By moving to other places and doing similar experiments like this one, we will for sure not replicate this experiment, but we will try to learn from this in order to solve the unforeseeable problems of the other experiment. There are many roles that universities can play. First of all, university can be also providing the space of interaction. Students are also crucial actors in universities. They bring a lot of energy, but most of all they bring a fresh look at things. Academics can also learn from this knowledge production on how to communicate their knowledge differently, but they need to be given the space, the time, the resources to do so. Perhaps the role of the municipality in the future, building on the Omgevingsvisie, could be to define research questions that different actors can address.